Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. So far today I've released a video talking about everything that the House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said, what the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said, what the Senate Majority Leader said because he threw cold water on the plans of the bipartisan Senate plan of the $908 billion, which did include $300 a week, but which did not include stimulus checks. Now, one key Republican, Josh Hawley, who actually spoke with the president last week while the president was flying back from Georgia on Air Force One, is Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley actually spoke with the president and asked the president to veto the $908 billion bipartisan Senate bill, which, by the way, at this moment in time, I do believe that that's not going to go anywhere based on what the Senate Majority Leader just said today. Josh Hawley asked the president to veto that bill because it did not include direct stimulus checks, because it did not include $1,200 stimulus check. Keep in mind that the $300 per week, which is included in the $908 billion Senate bipartisan plan, would essentially help individuals who are on unemployment. But what about individuals who either don't qualify for unemployment, need help, but are not, for whatever reason, they're not receiving unemployment, or those who are working part-time hours, limited hours, and are therefore not eligible for unemployment? This is a much larger group of people than just individuals who receive unemployment benefits. And so Josh Hawley, along with Bernie Sanders from Vermont, along with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, basically want $1,200 stimulus checks. So what's really interesting and impressive is that Josh Hawley is actually taking action on this. And you see this article on your screen that was published on Fox. Hawley introduced his bill to give direct payments, direct stimulus checks to our fellow Americans. And his bill calls for direct payments of $1,200 to all individual Americans. Keep in mind, Josh Hawley is a Republican from Missouri, and his bill calls for direct payments of $1,200 to all individual Americans and $2,400 to families, plus $500 per child, which is similar to what was distributed to 80 million of our fellow Americans under the $2.2 trillion CARES Act. And Josh Hawley said Americans need direct payments now. Families are struggling, unemployment claims are rising, and food lines are growing. It's time Congress finally acts. And I can tell you that I agree with him. In fact, you see this tweet on your screen from Josh Hawley's Twitter feed that says, "Today I'm introducing legislation to provide direct COVID relief for every working family in need, $1,200 per person, $2,400 per couple, and $500 per child. If the Senate will not include this help in a relief package, I will go to the floor and ask for up or down votes." So he's basically making this the primary focus and saying, hey, if the Senate doesn't vote for this, I will take charge for this and I will ask for votes on this as a separate standalone thing. Quite impressive. I mean, look, this is what we need as a country, and I believe that our lawmakers should take the initiative and not get stuck on on all of the things that are holding back the stimulus package. I mentioned this before. I believe that all this is like a game of chess. I mean, you see the chessboard on your screen. This is like a game of chess where House Speaker Pelosi changes her position every now and then. The Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who has basically stayed more or less firm with his position, also kind of shifted, saying, hey, $300 per week. Initially, this was a couple months ago. Now $0 per week in unemployment benefits. Let's not talk liability protection now. And then the president also has shifted positions as far as stimulus negotiations are concerned. And I do want to commend the Republican Senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley, for taking the initiative to say, hey, let's do this. This should be the focus because this is what people need. If you're struggling to put food on the table, to make rent, to keep the lights on, you're not thinking about liability protection. You're not even thinking about aid to state and local governments. You're thinking, how do I get money now so I can pay my bills right now? Which is exactly what Josh Hawley is actually recognizing. In fact, let's take a look at what Josh said today on Fox. Let's roll the tape and hear what he had to say about this specific subject and the importance of direct stimulus checks to our fellow Americans. Let's watch.
Stimulus for the American people amid this pandemic. We know cases continue to grow. We know that there are millions still unemployed, having a hard time feeding their own families. What are we doing to get help out to them?
The most important thing that Congress can do is to send direct assistance checks to every working family who needs them. $1,200 for individuals, $2,400 for couples, and $500 for every kid. That's what we did back in March. Every senator voted for it. The president is the one who led the charge for it. He supports that again. That's what we should do. Here's what I'm going to do. If Congress cannot agree in the next couple of days, today I'm introducing a bill for direct payments to working families. I will go to the floor and ask for an up or down vote on direct assistance to families.
Senator, we appreciate your time this morning. We ask you that, by the way, in the context of that breaking news this morning on jobless claims, they did rise by more than expected in the latest week, topping a big number, 853,000. We know people need help. Thank you for being here. We'll follow it.
Hawley also said direct relief should be at the center of any COVID relief legislation that Congress passes. If Congress doesn't pass relief legislation with direct payments in it, like I mentioned earlier, he said, I will go to the Senate floor to demand a vote on my legislation. Now, keep in mind that COVID cases have been spiking across the country, and Hawley, along with Democratic Congresswoman from New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, actually came together last week to call for a second stimulus bill that includes checks for individual Americans and families. This is what Hawley tweeted on the 4th of December. I will gladly work with AOC and anyone else who wants to help working families. Families and working people in need should be the first consideration in COVID relief, not last. I think he's absolutely 100% correct. And I hope that people are listening. I hope that the decision makers are listening. The way our system is set up is that there are key decision makers. We have House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who's a decision maker on the Democrat side in the House. We have Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's a decision maker in the Senate. I'm hoping that key decision makers are listening to voices like Josh Hawley and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who are recognizing that the primary priority, that the main thing that our struggling fellow Americans need is the direct stimulus check. Hawley also said that his suggestion basically mirrors what was done earlier this year with the CARES Act, which included $1,200 stimulus checks for families who made up to $75,000. Here's another quote from Hawley. He said, it's what every single senator has already supported. So there should be no fiddling about, oh, I don't know, this is different. It's exactly what every senator has voted for once, which is what Hawley pointed out. And like I mentioned, Hawley earlier spoke with the president and he actually commented on that. Keep in mind, Hawley is considered as a potential 2024 contender from the Republican Party. He, along with some other voices in the Republican parties, are thinking about 2024. So this is what Hawley said, because he did urge President Trump during a phone call over the weekend to veto any bill that did not include more stimulus checks. Here's a quote from Hawley. I'm continuing to be flummoxed as to why there aren't any direct payments. Everybody supported this in March. It's the most useful, helpful, and frankly popular aspect. So I told him, meaning President Trump, that, and I encouraged him to veto it. That's what Hawley said about his conversation with the president, which took place as the president was traveling back from Georgia. Let me know what you think in the comments section below about Hawley's proposal to include a direct stimulus check, and also just to do it as a standalone push on the United States, on the floor of the United States Senate, because apparently this is getting lost in translation with all the big games, with all the big chess pieces. You'll see the chess board on your screen. While all the different players, the key decision makers, are playing chess, do you think Josh Hawley's proposal should be taken up seriously and should gain traction on the floor of the United States Senate and in the House of Representatives? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, you'll find a link to all of our resources in the description section below. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. I really appreciate you watching. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. Remember, the Ignition Time channel is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. We work very hard on this channel to provide you with important information that is relevant to the country. For us, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. I want you to understand that we are all Americans first. And I think when we have the right facts, we can make the right decisions. We always, in every video, include a link to all of our resources in the description section below. All I ask, if you learn something new from this video, is please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. That tells the YouTube algorithm that you found the content helpful. Participate in our community. Comment below and let us know what you think. Our community is growing, it's intelligent, it's respectful, it's bipartisan. You'll make some new friends in our community. So make sure you do that. Remember, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. Get on our text message list. We'll send you breaking news and alerts. You'll get important information. You can opt out of the text messages at any time. Get your cell phone out. Send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time. So that's the message, the word ignition or with the word time. And send that message to the number 70,000. That's 70000. And then you'll get added to SMS alerts list, and you can opt out of the SMS alerts at any point in time. You can also get added to our email list. And again, you can opt out of the emails at any point in time to get breaking news and alerts from us, any important announcements from us. And so you can get on our email list by going to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. youtube.com/alerts. Sometimes, and we've heard about this from our viewers and subscribers, YouTube does not send out notifications as soon as we release the videos. So all you have to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. And then you can visit the homepage of our channel and watch any of our videos at any point in time that you want. So please do that. You can follow us on Instagram. My Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. You'll get exclusive news and content on our Instagram handle. Also follow us on Twitter. You'll get breaking news and alerts on Twitter. So follow us at ignition_time, which is the same handle as Instagram on Twitter. So make sure you follow us there. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to comment below. I really appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.